Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out CrossOver, Roll for Initiative. This is a game that's coming to Steam in about 2 weeks' time. There is a demo that you can download and try now if you'd like to. So it's worth mentioning that I played this for about half an hour. This is going to be more of a first impressions video. I found the game too hardcore for my liking, so I stopped. One thing that annoyed me in the options menu, there was no way to change how the mouse buttons operated. In this game, left click selects things and right click to cast. And I wanted to change that because I kept trying to deselect something and I was hitting right mouse button, and then, it's just I kept getting my buttons confused. So yeah, I wish there was a way to change that in the options menu. So what is this game all about? Well, it's a tower defense game of sorts mixed with an RPG. So if you've played Dungeons and Dragons, you'll be familiar with the character sheet that you'll see in this game. HP, Wisdom, Charisma, all that stuff is on a character sheet, and enemies will be spawning to attack various attributes on your character sheet, and you're going to be rolling dice and then matching dice on a match 3 grid to gain charges for your attacks. There are co-op modes in this game if you'd like. There's like one player can become the attack role and they'll control the team's character sheet, while the other player will collect the team's dice and do things on that end. So there is a co-op portion to this, but it's an online co-op, so 2 people have to own the game in order for that to work. There's no like local co-op or remote play or anything like that. So there is a campaign that you're going to be playing through. There's another mode or two, like there's a dice tower defense mode that you can play as well. But I spent most of my time in this campaign mode. You choose a campaign and you just, like a tower defense game, you're going to go through a series of levels in order to, well, complete it. And like I said, this was a bit rough for me just because there were no difficulty settings. The game advertises itself as a hardcore game, and yeah, I have to agree with that. Yes, you can pause time, but you can't interact with anything while time is paused, so that's kind of annoying. I do love you can create your character. You can change your race, you can change your class, you can change a variety of different things, and you can see like what you get. Like the cleric will start with these weapons and these spells and items. The rogue will start with this. Eventually you can unlock new races and new classes to play as. So like this part of the game I loved. I'm a big fan of RPGs. I don't play them as much as I'd like to, but like I enjoyed my time with D&D 5e when I did play it, and seeing stuff like this in a match 3 game, it's weird, but it's super cool at the same time. So this is the part of the game that I loved the most. Now, when I actually got to the gameplay, that was a bit rough for me. And like I said, you are going to be fending off a series of waves. They will spawn near your character sheet, then walk onto your character sheet and start attacking things like your HP, your charisma, your wisdom. They just start doing damage to different attributes that you have, including your health. And what's going to happen is you're going to match dice on the right side of the screen and then gain charges for them on the bottom right. There's D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and D20. And the different weapons and items and spells on your character sheet require different kinds of dice. So the Squire's Lance, for example, you need to spend a 1d10 charge. And then whenever you spend it, the dice is rolled and you'll do 1d10 worth of damage. And then if there's like a modifier, like a +1 modifier, whatever you roll, +1, or whatever the case is. There are different weapons and different items and different buffs that you can get as you do this. So I love the math behind that part of it. But again, there's no difficulty setting, and the game is advertised as hardcore, and that's what I have a problem with. I hate it when developers are like, no, you're going to play my game, and it has to be the hardcore way. It's my vision to make fine. If it's your vision to make a hardcore game, fine. But don't expect it to appeal to a wide audience. It's going to appeal to a more niche audience because it's hardcore. So there needs to be difficulty settings. There needs to be ways to mitigate this. I barely beat the first stage, even with my excessive pausing. You hit tab to pause the game. And like I said earlier, when you pause the game, I wanted to be able to like queue up clicks, queue up commands. Like, I wanted to left click on my weapon and then hover over the enemy ready to fire at it and then like unpause and do it. But no, you can't even click your weapons or your items or the dice or anything while the game is paused. All you can do is plan. So all I was sitting here doing was tab, click, click, click. Okay, untab, tab, click, 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 click. Okay, untap, tab, click, click, tab. It just, after a while, my wrist started. I mean, I have tendonitis, so the repeated clicks and the tab. I'm sorry, but like that was super annoying. And that could be mitigated with some difficulty settings. So like, I appreciate what this game does. Okay, I appreciate the mashing of D&D or just RPGs in general, along with the tower defense game. I appreciate that, and I like the modifiers. I like the idea of enemies spawning and attacking your attributes. Like, in theory, it's cool, but then you go and make a game that's hardcore. So, way to kill that. At least for me. I'm sorry, but like, that's just not who I am. I'm a casual gamer. I might have thousands of games, but I'm a casual gamer at heart. I prefer to play on an easier setting. That's just me. I don't have time to hardcore things just because. So, do I recommend this game? Yes and no. If you don't mind the hardcore nature of games, then by all means check this out. But I would say the game has 2 weeks to launch. Let's see if the developer decides to add difficulty levels. That would be nice. It's microprose, so we'll see. So there you go, folks. It's kind of like a mid thumbs up for me. I like everything else about it, but the difficulty, there needs to be difficulty settings added. It's 2024. Let's get with it. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.